So students, do you know what plant this is? This plant is known as a cactus plant, also known as Opuntia. Hello students, welcome to Biology with Prajakta, and in today's video, we will study about Opuntia, which is also known as a cactus plant. So if I ask about Opuntia from kingdom plantae point of view, what group does Opuntia belong to? Opuntia is an angiosperm. Yes, Opuntia belongs to the most developed plant group, that is angiospermic. And you know that angiosperms are known as flowering plants. So like I said, Opuntia is the cactus. Where do you think cactus plants grow? Cactus plants grow in desert conditions. And desert means that they face a shortage of water. So now students, think about it. If there is a shortage of water, how do you think the plant is going to survive in those conditions? The plant is going to make sure that it wastes as less water as possible. So if Opuntia lives in desert conditions, what do you think Opuntia wants to do? It wants to reduce transpiration. Students, transpiration is a process by which water is lost in the form of vapor through the aerial parts. So think about it. Opuntia is already getting less water, so it wants to make sure that its transpiration is reduced, and to do that, it transforms its leaves. Let's see. Normally, this is how a leaf is, and this kind of leaf means the surface area is more, and the more the surface area, the more will be the transpiration. So basically, to reduce the transpiration, it transforms these leaves into such pointed structures known as spines. So if we ask you, Opuntia modifies its leaves into what? Into spines. Now think about it. Normally, what is the function of the leaf? The leaf is green in color and the leaf carries out photosynthesis. But in Opuntia's case, the leaf has been modified into spines. So, Opuntia transforms its stem into flat green structures, and the stem of the Opuntia is known as a phyloclade. And if we ask you what is the function of this phyloclade? Absolutely right, that is photosynthesis. So, Opuntia is a desert plant. It has modified its leaves into spines to reduce transpiration, and it has modified its stem into phyloclade to carry out photosynthesis. These are its desert modifications. So students, Opuntia has also been mentioned in the chapter photosynthesis. Remember, according to the photosynthesis cycle, there are three types of plants. There is a C3 plant, C4 plant, and the CAN plants. And out of these three, Opuntia is a CAN plant. What does CAN stand for? Crassulation, acid, metabolism. Let's do a quick recap. Opuntia is a desert plant, correct? So it wants to conserve as much water as possible. So what does it do to its stomata? It keeps its stomata closed during the daytime when the sun's heat is high, when the temperature is high in the morning. Whereas during the night time, when the temperature is lower, it keeps its stomata open. So during the night time, carbon dioxide fixation occurs, and what gets formed is malic acid. So during the night time, malic acid gets formed and malic acid gets accumulated into the Opuntia plant. So we can ask you, acidification, that is formation and accumulation of malic acid in Opuntia, occurs during the daytime or during the night time? You're right, it occurs during the night time. We know that Opuntia is also known as cactus. But do you know that it is also known as the prickly pear cactus? Yes. And do you know, because of how the cactus plant looks, it was introduced in Australia. That means, for Australia, the prickly pear cactus is not a native species. In fact, it is known as an exotic species because that cactus plant was not found in Australia. So, is it an exotic species for Australia? Yes. Now remember that whenever an organism is not from that area, It does not have its original predators there. That means if an organism is found in an area, then it will have its natural predators to control its population. But let's talk from the perspective of Australia. Because the prickly pear cactus was not the native of Australia, it did not have any natural predators. And do you know what happened in Australia? The prickly pear cactus started growing invasively. That means it started growing tremendously, and hence the prickly pear cactus turned into an invasive species for Australia. So do you know how did they combat this problem of the prickly pear cactus growing invasively? They used the relationship predation. That means they used a particular moth. Which moth did they use? They used a cactus feeding moth. This moth started feeding on the cactus, thereby the cactus population got reduced. That means because the cactus plant was a problem for that area, they introduced a moth, they used predation, and the cactus population came down. So if we ask you, which species relationship did the Australians use to reduce the cactus population? Then they used predation. So students, let's do a quick recap. Opuntia, it is an angiosperm, it is a desert plant, it is a cam plant, and predation was used to reduce the cactus population in Australia. So students, I really hope you liked this video. For more such content, follow Biology with Prajakta.